Okay, today, in honor of Norbert, the Norwegian Ridgeback that Hagrid just got, I'm going to show you guys a tutorial on how to make dragon deviled eggs. Okay, so it's just like making regular deviled eggs, except you are going to use a little bit of food coloring so that it makes the egg itself, instead of being white, it's going to look speckled and colored. And then you can even use some food coloring when you do the filling for the deviled eggs, which is like the egg yolk, mayonnaise, mustard, salt, and pepper, and however you mix up your filling for your deviled eggs. I personally like to keep the filling of the deviled eggs yellow and then just use the food coloring on the outside of the egg. But you'll see in this tutorial that I'm showing you now that they actually put food coloring into their deviled egg filling, so it's not yellow, it's different colors. So that's up to you. It's just a personal preference. Okay. So the website that I have you on right now up at the top is simplypotter.com/dragon deviled eggs recipe. Okay. And simplypotter.com has lots of other really cool things that you can look up if you're interested in doing other recipes and other crafts for Harry Potter. So you can see here with this picture, okay, these are what the eggs look like after they're boiled. Okay. You put a little bit of food coloring into a cup, you boil your eggs, and then you're going to kind of crack up the shell, not remove the shell, but just crack up the shell, and then drop it into a cup of your colored water. Okay, so let's go down here so I can actually show you a little bit more. Here's a picture of all the ingredients that you're going to need. You're obviously going to need some eggs. You're going to need food coloring, mayo, yellow mustard, vinegar. This is going to be used when you're using the food coloring so that you dye the eggs. And then you can always sprinkle a little bit of paprika, salt, and pepper on the top of your eggs as well. Okay, so obviously your first step is to boil your eggs. Make sure that you have an adult with you if you're doing this, because if you're cooking on the stove or anything like that, you want to make sure that you are safe and you have the supervision of an adult. Okay, so whichever adult you're with, I'm sure that they know how to boil their eggs. So you're going to boil eggs, and I will tell you this: a little fact that I've kind of learned over the years. It's harder to peel a boiled egg when they're fresh eggs. Okay, so it's almost kind of better to buy some eggs, let them sit in your refrigerator for about a week before you boil them. And then it's going to be much easier for you to do the dyeing and then the peeling of the eggs when they're done. So you kind of want like at least week old eggs for your best results. Okay, after you boil your eggs, you are going to grab some coffee cups, okay? And in the coffee cup, you're going to mix 1 tablespoon of the white vinegar and some of your food coloring. The more drops you use, the darker the color is going to be, okay? Again, personal preference of how dark you want your eggs to come out. And then you'll fill the rest of the cup up with some water, just enough so that when you put the egg into the cup, it's completely submerged, okay? So you can see here, they got their coffee cups filled with their vinegar, water, and food coloring. Okay, so now this is where you're going to take the eggs and you're going to kind of crack them first. Okay, you want the shells to have cracks in them because that's the way that the color is going to seep inside of the egg and color the egg itself. So, kind of like you can hit it on the table. You can kind of roll it on the table a little bit and crunch it up a little bit. You don't want the shell to come off. You just want the shell to be cracked. Okay. Once you have that cracked, you're going to put your eggs into the color dye and pretty much let them sit there for about 5 minutes. If you take them out, you don't think the color's just right, you can leave them in longer. So the longer they sit in the dye mixture, the darker they're going to be, and the more drops of food coloring you use, the darker they're going to be. Okay. So then once you take them out, this is where you're going to start removing the shells. Okay. Again, and if your eggs are about a week old, it's going to be a lot easier for you to crack the eggs and remove the shells. So you can see here, they had this shell nice and cracked because they have lots of really, really cool lines on the egg. Makes it look like a dragon egg instead of a chicken egg. All right, so now to make up your filling. Again, I'm sure whichever adult is with you has probably made deviled eggs before, so they might have their own recipe. but you're going to take the yolk out of the inside of the egg, stick it into a bowl. Okay. Put your dragon eggs aside and let them just sit there until you're ready with the filling. You're going to add some mayo. You're going to add some mustard. You can add salt and pepper. You could put some garlic powder in there if you want to. I have some friends that sometimes add relish or chopped up gherkins inside of it. If you like it a little spicy, you could put a little bit of horseradish in there. It'll give you a little bit of like a pizzazz when you bite into your deviled egg. Lots of different ways that you can make your filling. Okay. But mix your filling up, make sure it's nice and whipped. Okay. And then you are going to scoop them into your eggs. So you can see here, this is where they actually put a little bit of food coloring into the egg yolk so that it came out the different colors. Again, personally, I like to keep it yellow and just have the egg itself with the dye, but that's totally up to you. And you can spoon it in with a spoon, or you could put your filling into a Ziploc bag and then snip off the corner tip and then use that as a piping bag and kind of swirl it into the egg cups if you want to. And then you can always sprinkle a little bit of paprika on top, which always makes them look really, really nice. Okay. Also, if you come down here on simplypotter.com/deviled egg recipe, they have a video here which you can watch, and it'll also take you through the steps of how to make the dragon deviled eggs. Okay. I really hope that you like this recipe, and I hope that you will enjoy them. If you get a chance to make them, take a picture, send it to me. I'd really like to see your creativity with this. All right, guys. I will see you again later. Bye. No, I don't want to make myself bigger. I want to make myself out of the way.